Hi, so today we're going to do a little product review. I'm going to talk about a new Rapidograph pen that I've been using. Now I want to give you some caveats before I begin this review. I've only seriously been inking with Rapidographs for the past year or year and a half or so. So my experience with them is not as extensive as my experience with other materials like Photoshop and pencils and all that kind of stuff. So your mileage may vary, your experiences may not be as similar to mine with the pens that I am going to be reviewing or talking about. So just bear that in mind. I'm kind of a novice with the Rapidographs, but I found a pen that I really like and I wanted to share it with you. So before we get started, let us first talk about a Rapidograph pen. Now, unlike a felt tip pen like this one, this is a Sharpie. I use these for signing books and things like that. A Rapidograph pen is a mechanical pen, a technical pen. I guess they call it a technical pen. But it consists of a, let's center this up, a metal shaft, and that goes into an inkwell of some shape. This is really crude. And so if it's set up like this, the ink would just spurt out like. So inside the shaft is a pin that juts out ever so slightly from the tip of the barrel. And then here's the ink. Inky. So when you are holding the technical pen Rapidograph up like this, gravity pulls this pin down, creating a seal which prevents the ink from glooping out. Now, when you push down on a surface, your drawing surface like vellum or paper or Bristol, what it does is it forces the pin to go flush with the barrel of the shaft. And yes, it is very phallic here. And boop, 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 boop. Pushes the pin up, and that allows the ink to flow freely. So there you go. Now that means you get a dead consistent line. It's straight. It's a uniform width, which is perfect for drafting or mechanical drawings or animation, things like that. Since this pen here is a felt tip, if I push down harder, then let up, I get different line weights, that kind of stuff. So that is what a Rapidograph pen is. I use them for lettering because they are awesome for lettering, and the most well-known type of Rapidograph pens, let me see if I can refocus here. Can I refocus? Ooh, check that out. This is the koh-i-noor brand, and this is actually a old Rapidograph. This is my grandfather's set. And if you take a look, let's see here. So this is what the old style looked like. You can see the pin in there. It's kind of messy. There's the label. And if you further unscrew it, here you go. Here's the ink barrel. You fill that up, and there you go. Now, the only problem with this type of Rapidograph is that if you leave the ink in here, it tends to clot and dry in the barrel. So it makes it very difficult. You have to disassemble and wash it with a special cleaner, all that kind of stuff. So when you take it apart, and I was smart with this one, I actually have a disassembled Rapidograph here. Let me take out all the parts. Okay, so this is the pin, very tiny, very easy to bend if you force it too much. And this is the barrel where the ink goes. And you'll notice this saddle here. This saddle prevents the pin from falling out all the way. So let's see, puts it in here. Got to be very careful. Alright, so yeah, so the saddle prevents the pin from falling out if you tip it over like this. And then you screw that assembly into this guy. Oh, yes. Then you got your reservoir here. fill it with ink, and you're good to go. Draw, 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 draw. So I like my grandfather's set. It writes smoothly. The lines are really consistent, and when the ink is flowing, it's a very consistent flow. The problem is, like I said, it tends to clot, and since these are older barrels, I have to really clean them between each usage, which means I have to unscrew this whole assembly, pop out that saddle, pop out that pin, wash it, and make sure it's all clean and all that kind of stuff. And then what I do is I fill it with clean water and blow through the barrel until the water is clear. Alright, so that is the old style rapidograph from koh-i-noor. This is the new style from koh-i-noor. You can tell it's new because it's shiny. And this is what they look like this way. You can't see, I kind of liked my grandfather's transparent barrel thingy. You can't tell when the ink is here. You know, sometimes you have to shake it or flick it. I saw on the website they say, oh, don't shake your thing, just use the squeegee suction-y thing to suck out the ink, which is alright, I guess, but I've had limited success with it. So let's show you what is under the hood. So take off this barrel. Now they have a couple of new design features that make this easier to clean when you unscrew this guy. Instead of a wacky saddle, you have this cute pink cap. You pop the cap off, and the pin is now all metal. I think this is aluminum, except for this part here, instead of plastic like my grandfather's set. So this, you know, it's easy to assemble, easy to take apart, easy to clean, but it's still a pain in the ass to clean. So, I can't focus on this guy. There we go. It's still kind of a pain in the ass to clean. I spend a lot of time cleaning up. I make a mess in the sink, and so I wanted to find a different solution. Oh, a neat thing about this particular rapidograph, I think this is like a special edition or something. You can't really tell because it's all crusted with ink, but that's a jewel tip, which is a low friction tip, which makes it glide across the paper a little bit smoother than just metal on paper. So I've been looking around for a replacement for my koh-i-noor, something that I didn't really have to do too much maintenance, because it's a high maintenance pen. You know, that's fine, I guess, but it takes time away from me doing what I do best, which is my comic, and cleaning is not a thing that I enjoy all that much. So I tried out on a whim this thing, the Rotring Rapidograph, and I think this is a European brand. The koh-i-noors are made in America. This is made in Germany. Now the interesting thing about this system, and here you can take a look. So it doesn't look too much different from the koh-i-noor. Works the same way. There's a pin in here. You know, push down, you can draw and all that kind of stuff. But the difference is that this is like a sealed system. So once it uses disposable ink cartridges, and they look like this. And once the ink cartridge is done, you pop it out and you pop in a new one, and you have a whole new system. You don't ever have to open the barrel or take out the pin or clean any bullshit. It's there's some kind of like vacuum action that happens here that makes it just flow. They call it like, what do they call it, like super capillary or something like that. Anyway, so I can't, well, I don't want to unscrew this and show you the guts of the thing, because it would make a mess, and I don't know what it would do to the system. But I have a brand new one here, so let's do some unboxing. Alright, look at all this fun stuff. It's out of focus, I'll bring it up quickly. Alright, so here is the pen as it is. You unscrew this part. Ooh. Where's the pen? There we go. Alright, so you unscrew the cap here. You unscrew this part here, this cuff. this cuff. That's the cuff. Alright, so there's your ink system. Alright. And you can get replacement ink cartridges. They're less expensive than the replacement pins. This is the Rapidograph tip. So let's take that out. Oh, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It could be Rapidograph or Rapidograph. I've heard both. Nobody has told me which is the proper one, so I say Rapidograph because I do. So yeah, the pins in here, I can't really disassemble this. This is a solid system. I mean, I guess I could muck with this, but I'd rather not. Alright, and so now we just pop that in to the ink till it snaps like that. Screw on this head, or the cuff, and now I should be able to just draw. Let me refocus here. I should just be able to, oops, alright, shake it a little bit. Oh, failed product demo. Aw, come on now. Alright, so there we go. Nice consistent line, nice and even, nice and smooth. I could do this all day. Woo! Ooh, a little bit of a hitch. Rapidographs, it's generally best to hold it straight up and down when you're drawing, not hold it at an angle because you won't get any contact with the opening of the barrel. So keep your hand nice and straight when you write or letter. Let's see here. Could do some lettering. Hello, YouTubes. Alright, so whoop. Refocus, there we go. So here we go. The Rotring Rapidograph pen. They are not cheap, unfortunately. These are not well, none of the Rapidographs are very affordable. So like, you know, if you want to buy one on a whim just because I say, it's going to cost you some cash, unfortunately. Best bet is if you have a friend who's a drafter or designer, lets you borrow one and test it out to see if you like it. Otherwise, try to find them on sale because you know, for lettering they're awesome. For other styles of illustration, I could see them being very useful. But for lettering in particular, that's what I like to use. So this is the pen that I will be lettering my comics with from now on until I probably change my mind and find something better. The thing that sucks is that you have to buy new cartridges for ink anytime it runs out. With the koh-i-noors, you know, you just buy ink and just pour it into the reusable barrel. You know, I think Rotring also makes a pen that's like that, where you can just refill the ink, but then again you have to go through that cleaning process. So for now I'm gonna stick with these guys because I don't have to. In between usage, I can just cap them and store them somewhere. I don't have to empty out the ink. So I'm gonna stop rambling. So this is the Rotring Rapidograph. They're fucking expensive. But they're useful, and it's gonna make my life easier as a cartoonist, so that's why I'm using them. I can't really recommend them because of the price, but I can recommend them because of the smooth usage and all that kind of stuff. So if you can afford it, they're awesome. If you can't afford it, fucking use a micron, because microns are just as good. They just run out of ink, and then you have to chuck a micron. But I mean, you can get like 10 of these for one of these. So, alright, so that's going to do it for this time. Happy New Year, and thanks for tuning in. Bye.